Hello, my name is Nadia. I am a knitter crocheter and I do lots of other crafts, and I do sew sometimes. Mostly right now I absolutely love knitting, and I've been knitting a lot, watching a lot of podcasts, which has been really fun. I love watching different podcasts, seeing other people's different projects and what they knit and what yarns they use, and it also gives you an idea of things, of what yarn, to purchase for different projects. Which I started out knitting. I taught myself how to knit, so I've never learned about blocking, swatching, measuring and all that stuff, instead of guessing how many stitches to cast on. So by watching all the podcasts, I learned a lot of different things. I've been knitting for about, I would say, 8 years now, and crocheting for about 13 years, which the reason I started doing those are my kids. That's why I started crocheting first. I wanted to make a blanket for my firstborn, so I taught myself how to crochet. Mostly I think I used YouTube, Google, and just taught myself how to crochet, and I made a really small blanket, like a car seat blanket, which I still have somewhere. And that was my first start with working with yarn. And then I started making hats and other blankets and all kinds of other stuff. And then I decided to learn how to knit also from YouTube. And slowly but surely I started learning, knitting more things. And oh my goodness, I made so much stuff since I learned. And I just, one of my favorite things to do is knit. Also kind of gives me a little bit of something for myself that I do. Something that can calm me down, relieve some stress, and just doing something also useful. I always thought knitting was really useful, and crochet is also useful. You're awesome hobbies to have, right? So I have a lot of things that I'm going to show you today. So I just wanted to record this to make it like a journal, where my kids can maybe go one day and say, I don't know, just for fun, for myself, not expecting much from it, just something that I'm going to do because I want to. And I live in Delaware, United States of America, in Delaware, and I live in a small town of Ellesmere. I've lived here for 10 years, and well, altogether more than 10 years, but I don't know, 15, 16 years I've lived in Delaware. I moved from another country, and now I live in Delaware. It's a small state and a small town, and I live here with my 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, and also my husband, which I'm going to talk about him today. It's exciting. All right, so I'm going to show you some of the things that I made and talk about it just a little bit. This is kind of second video that I made, but I'm still not a pro. So I'm going to start out with this right here. Oh my goodness, this is so lovely. So I made this little, it's like I can't even call it a sweater because it's more of a blouse, I would say. It weighs 109 grams, see-through, so I don't know if it's a sweater or a blouse. Probably a blouse. It'll be perfect for spring, early fall, which is right now, so this will be nice. So I made this out of lace weight yarn. It is, as you can see, it's see-through, very light, which it does not get really hot where I live, so this is perfect. It's October right now, and the weather is 74 degrees, and I send the kids outside to play so I can do this little video. So this is alpaca silk. It weighs 106 pounds. Oh my goodness, grams, 106 grams, I'm sorry. And I made this one actually on my knitting machine. I own a knitting machine, and I made it on a knitting machine because this is lightweight, lace weight. I wanted to do something really light to have with long sleeves, but not hot sweater, but something really super light and super delicate, which this one is really delicate. I like to dress up sometimes and just have some. So it's just a simple raglan sweater with raglan sleeves, and I did put a little lace detail. I think I seen a pattern like that somewhere. It was a written pattern, and I kind of just made my own. I did little balloon sleeves with folded sleeves right there, and I also put a lace detail on the bottom, which makes it really pretty. I'll get some pictures one day and post them on Instagram when I'm all dressed up and ready to go out. So there it is. Okay, so the yarn I used, oh my goodness, I love this yarn. So let me find my tag. I bought it, I saved it, and I put it over here somewhere. So this one is Malabrigo. Yeah, it's Malabrigo. The color is 412 teal feather. So this, it's called, the name of this yarn is Silpaca, which is kind of a fun name because in the back of here, I'm reading here, it says, the yarn, like its name, is combination of silk and premium baby alpaca, making it both soft and lacy. This yarn is plied and sturdy. So I have a little, I can't read because I got something on there, so I can't see what it is. But the question color here, okay, so yeah, so they named it Silpaca, which is a pretty cool name. So it's Malabrigo lace, 420 yards per 50 grams, 384 meters, and 70% baby alpaca and 30% silk. So it's really, oh, it's really soft and awesome. I'm really happy with this one. So yeah, made on my knitting machine. And smells good because I washed it in wool soap. So that was my sweater for this weather. It's perfect because if you don't like your arms getting cold, you can wear something light. Okay, so that was one. So the first time I heard about this pattern was from one of the podcasters, and like everyone else, I got obsessed with it, and I definitely wanted to try it. It was a free pattern, and the obsession went, whew. So this was my first, I'm going to share my first try. I just made half of it. So this was my first try. So the pattern is half and half triangle wrap. And it's, the pattern's by Pearl Soho. I think I'm saying it right, but I'll put it in the description. I'm sure lots of you heard about it. So when I started making my first one, I grabbed some undyed merino wool yarn that I had. It was 100% merino wool, undyed, fingering weight. And I was gonna do this, but then I was gonna grab and see how much I needed for the second side, and I was gonna dye the color that I wanted to. So I made the half of it, and I'm like, this is huge, this is giant. I don't know if I'm gonna, because I'm small and I don't know if I wanted like a whole bunch of fabric all around my face and all around me. And I thought, I don't know if it's gonna look right if I do another half, and it'll be too much fabric. But then I thought, oh, maybe I can make it in a blanket. But then I kind of didn't want to waste 100% merino wool yarn on a blanket, because I thought it'd be a waste. It'll get ripped up, it'll get worn out too much. So I ended it just doing the half of triangle. So this is just the triangle shawl, and I'm thinking of taking it apart now, which I don't know if I will or will not do, but I might do it because I already kind of have the same color triangle shawl like the other half. So I'll show you the other ones that I made. So I got obsessed with it. It was huge, really big. I loved it, and we'll see what happens to it. So here it is. It's a lot of fabric, but it's really nice. So I'm like, okay, so that one sort of failed. It didn't turn out to be the half and half triangle, just one color. So I put it aside, and sometimes I'll wrap myself in it when it's a little chilly in the morning because I like to be warm. So I grabbed my yarn that I had, and I dyed in 2 different colors, because this one's 100% merino wool, non-superwash, which I love. And then when I first started out purchasing yarn online, when I first learned about merino wool, I found a website, and well, they're no longer open. They're closed, and I'm a bit sad because I really love their yarns. So and I know they have the same yarn other places too. So I purchased lots and lots of undyed yarn, sock yarn. So it was superwash sock, natural color yarn. So I dug up some of my skeins that I had, which 2 and 2, so 4 skeins, and I did 2 different colors. And when they dried, I started knitting. So this one was actually, because this one was 190 stitches, and I did use bigger size needles, so this turned out too big. So I'm like, how about I try 160 stitches to make it less big, because I wanted to wear it and being able to use it, and I didn't want a whole bunch of fabric all around me, because I'm small. I'm really small, and I like simpler. I don't like too much. I like just simple. So I cast on 160 stitches in this pink one. So I did the pink color first, and I did pink because my girls love pink. So I thought once I'm, they'll be able to have it as their little blankets when they wake up in the morning and want to come sit on the couch and cover up in it, which is light. So I thought pink would be cute, and I do like pink. Sometimes I'll wear pink. And then I did the yellow golden color, which is a fall color, which is turned out really pretty by me dyeing it. I'm not a pro at dyeing. I just started a couple years ago, and I've only dyed for myself. I'm not selling the yarn because I'm learning. I don't want to do it. Plus I have little kids. Well, my youngest one is 4, so I don't really have time, and I homeschool my children. So for now, I am not going to be doing any yarn for selling. I'm just going to do it for myself, because having 4 kids is expensive. And beautiful, gorgeous hand-dyed yarn that I see all the time, I want it all the time, is also expensive, but it's worth it. But yeah, this is the golden color that I dyed. So this is superwash merino, 75 and 25 nylon, I believe, or poly made. I don't remember right now, and I don't have a tag. So this is my one that I made. That's a bit smaller, but it's a really nice, sorry, it's kind of hard to see. It's a perfect size for me. It's a perfect size for me. So if I want to wear it like this, and when I go outside, play with the kids in the winter when it's a bit cold, because I like being warm, this is perfect right here. Perfect. I also love just wrapping it around me like this in the mornings when I go outside to take care of my chickens or whatever. So this one's really nice. I was happy with it. Really happy with it. So the obsession didn't end there. I fell in love with this pattern, absolutely. And once I was done with this, I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do now? I need something like that to knit again. So I went again and got my yarn, undyed yarn, and I left one side undyed. I think this is the first one I started working with, and I did cast on 190 stitches for this one, which I kind of like, oh, I should have cast on 200 because I had some yarn left, but that's okay. So I did it in one superwash merino wool, undyed first side, and then I did see somebody have this combination, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. And then I went and I dyed 2 skeins in this navy blue color. So it's navy blue, hand dyed yarn. And I made a second one, and oh my goodness, they did not take long at all for me. I was knitting nonstop at night and whenever I had time. And I think this took me about a month, if not less than a month to make. And this one took less than a month because it was smaller. Oh my goodness, when you start, you can't stop. These are absolutely fun to make. Addictive, really, really addictive, because after I finished this one, I thought to myself, I need another one. I see all these beautiful color combinations and I absolutely love them. Want to make some more, but I had to stop myself because I'm that person who does not like to have too much of things and then you have to choose what you're going to wear or do whatever. I can't have too much. I need a limit of things. I already have 2. And then I have this one, which I'm thinking maybe taking it apart because I don't want to have too much. Plus I have the half triangle in the light color already. So I don't really see a point of me having 2 of the same things, sort of. So I'm going to keep this one, take this one apart, and that's it. So those are my finished things that I made. I also, I want to talk about something else real quick. So when I started knitting and totally fell in love with knitting, and I jokingly tell my husband, like, I need to teach you to knit so we can knit faster together because I want to make so many things, always have so much stuff I want to make. So I said, I need to teach you how to knit. So he was like, nah. And I thought, never will he ever learn to knit. I will never be able to teach him how to knit. So I thought my 11-year-old son would knit, and he started knitting, but he's working on a scarf right now. I tell him it's perfect. It's his first project. He's okay with it. So I try to encourage him to knit a little bit. He doesn't do it that much, but then a couple weeks ago, well, me and my husband, we talked, and he's like, I need to start knitting. I need to learn to knit. That way our son feels comfortable knitting too. So last week, he's like, teach me how to knit. I'm like, okay. I'm like, teach me how to knit now. I'm like, okay, let's do it. So I gave him needles, I gave him yarn, and I showed him how to do it. And this was his first project that he knitted. He's gonna make a scarf, but I'm like, you know what? Why don't you just make me some fingerless mitts? Because he wanted to make me something. That's what he said. The first thing that I make would be something for you. So I'm like, okay. So I turned them into mitt. He's working on a second one now. But I was so impressed how nice it actually looks. His stitches are so even. He cast off a little tight, but that's okay. I told him it's okay. We're not going to take it apart. The next one you do, don't cast off too tight. But so this was his first thing that he made. How cool is that? It's so exciting. I'm excited. He comes home from work and he's ready to sit down and knit. And a couple days ago, he came home and he sat down and knit. And I was on the phone with my mom. And I'm showing him, because I'm so proud. I'm such a proud wife. And I'm showing her that he's knitting. He's like, well, he just got home and he's sitting down to knit before he even eats dinner. I'm like, yeah, that's what us knitters do. Food does not come first. Knitting comes first. That's, at least for me, definitely. So then he's like, okay, let me make a second one. So he wrote down how many stitches he cast on and how many rows he did. And for some reason, I said, yeah, okay, because I knew that he has it written down on his phone how many he cast on. So he ended up, instead of 36, he cast on 32, so it ended up being smaller. Which I'm looking now. Well, yeah, it ended up being a little bit smaller. So he's like, oh no, it's too small. It's not the right size. So what he was gonna do, he's gonna make another one of these same size, and this will be for one of our kids. Same matching mitten. So that will be fun. So he's working on one of these now, and then he's gonna do another one in this size. So yeah, how cool is that? I thought that would never be possible. I would, like, my husband will never knit, but once he started, it's been like 2 weeks, I think. He loves it. He comes home, he gets straight to it. At night, we sit in our bed and knit together, and oh my goodness, how fun is that? So those are that. So after making all these half and half shawls or wraps that I made, I wanted to make another one. So I cast on, but I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. So I took it apart and I put it on the side, and I used the yarn for something else. I'm like, but I gotta do one of those. Because the knitting's addictive. It's relaxing. It's fun. It's therapeutic. So I decided to use the pattern in sort of the same, making the triangles but smaller, making them smaller, and then making a blanket out of my small pieces that small skeins of yarn that I get every month, and these are DK weight. And I ordered this because I wanted to put it in one of these projects that I'm gonna make, like a blanket, scrap blanket or something I was gonna make. So I'm like, oh, I need a solid color. So the gray color is a superwash merino worsted twist gray heather. It's 220 yards for 100 grams. And this one I think is the same, but I'm doing a monthly club from Etsy. I'll have to share or put a link where I get these little beautiful. I really love her yarn. I get the mini skeins or 20-gram skeins. I'll show them to you in a second. But so instead of me making another shawl that I'm like, I have already 2, I don't need another one. Unless somebody asks me to make him one, then. But for now, I am working on this beautiful blanket. I love it. So I just did that today, and I'm like, I am so in love with this. So this is the yarn. I'll definitely post a link down below where I get these ones. So this is a monthly yarn club that I do on Etsy. And these are 20 grams yarn, so I have a lot of them. I did make a lot of squares for another blanket, crocheted blanket, granny squares that I have somewhere out this already. But I'm collecting it so I can make a couple blankets. But these are beautiful colors. And the yarn is 100% merino. And it is superwash, I think. Worsted weight. So there it goes back up there. So this was my alternative for a shawl that I didn't really need to make, but how pretty is that? Pretty colors. Love the colors. And I like it with gray. I might make, I don't know. So I told my husband, I said, we will work on this together. I will teach you how to do short rows, and because this stitching is so lovely. So I said, we'll make a blanket together. How fun will that be? So he's excited. It's like, yay, we'll do that. So I'm all excited for him to learn how to knit. So yeah, that was him. So also working on some socks, and I wanted to kind of make these videos that way I can make myself finish my projects, because I know that people say it helps, and share them on YouTube to anybody who would ever care to watch. Or myself. You know what? I will watch my own videos, and that's okay, because I love other people's podcasts, but I don't know if I'm gonna like watching myself. Probably not, because I hate watching myself, but that's okay. So this is also my own hand-dyed yarn that I dyed a couple weeks ago because I wanted some fall colors. Kind of, you know, I've really loved this color on the camera. It's showing up even nicer. It's a pretty color. It turned out to be a pretty color. I used some different color yarn, different color dyes on here. It does have a little tiny bit of green, speckles in there, which I really like, and I can't wait to get some today. So this is also a cloud. So the brand was Cloudborn Fibers. That's the brand that I bought the undyed yarns from, that I, you know, so I could dye it. The shop is no longer open, so I can't buy like 5 skeins. I would buy a pack of 5 and use it for dyeing for socks and other things, you know, for it. And I made a lot of stuff for my kids because it's a soft yarn, it's not scratchy at all, and they like it. So this is a 2x2 ribbed sock that I'm making for myself. I want to make a long sock, so I cast on 60 stitches using 2.5 millimeter needles, US millimeter needles, because I wanted to do 2.5, even though I do like 2.2. What did I say? I don't know. Let me see the ones that I use for my other socks. Okay, so these ones are 2.25. Okay, not 2.75, but these are 2.5. So these are 2x2 ribbed socks, and I'm making them long. So far I have I think 100 rows now. So I mark it with the little markers every 10 rows. So every 10 rows I mark it, that way it's easier to count, and then when I'm doing the second one I'll do exactly the same. So this is a 2x2 rib sock. I'm gonna do the heel, what's the name of that heel? The heel, this kind of heel. Okay, I'm new to all this stuff. I've learned so much from podcasts. There's, oh my goodness, I'm so thankful to all of them. Absolutely thankful to every single person who taught me so much. And I actually started knitting socks because of the podcasters, and absolutely fell in love with also knitting socks. And I got obsessed, and I made like starting last year. Yeah, I started last year, definitely last year, and about the same time, about a year ago, that's when I started making socks. About a year ago when my obsession came, because I did make a pair of socks, a lace socks, a long time ago, and I finished. Okay, so this is what happened. I did, you know what, yes, last year is the year that I finished my second sock for the first pair that I started knitting, that I started the year before. So I had one sock for a year, and I didn't finish the second one until last year in October or November. And I still have that pair, and I wore it a lot. So after I finished that sock, I'm like, I gotta finish it. I started wearing it. I'm like, oh, I love these socks. I gotta make some more. So I started making socks because of watching somebody's YouTube, and they were showing socks. I'm like, I'm gonna go back and finish my pair of socks. So these are for my daughter. The same yarn. My own dyed yarn. I'm using up the leftovers from this wrap. So I did the cuff in 2x2 ribbing, and then I did the sock is in 3. It's a broken rib 3x1, and then the heel flapping heel. And this is my first one here too. It's just like this one. This is only my first ones. So I gotta finish them and get on the second one. This one's gonna be done in a couple of nights. Okay, so I'm gonna put these over here. Let's see what else I have here. I got lots of stuff that I need to finish. And I have, so I'm gonna start with this one. This is a pattern that is adult size pattern, and I made this sweater for myself. It was in a round. I'm trying to make it into cardigan, but the pattern was, or maybe, yeah, the pattern is just a round without the split right here because I wanted to make it into a cardigan. So what I did, the pattern that I purchased, which I will try to link it there if anybody would ever be interested in. So the pattern that I purchased was for an adult size sweater. But what I decided to do is use smaller needles, which I'm using US 4. Yeah, US 4. And I guess this would be sort of like a fingering weight yarn, or maybe a little bit of a sport because finger is a little bit thinner. I don't know. Let's see. So this is Baby Cash. I ordered it online a couple years ago. Made a sweater out of one for me from a different color, which the sweater didn't hold up very well. It peels so much, kind of looks old and yucky, and I don't really like it. So I decided to make a little sweater for my daughter out of this. It's a beautiful color. Oh, it's pretty. Very pretty. Very soft yarn. So I did the same amount of stitches. I just used smaller size needles and also a different size yarn. Oh, I'll show you my other sweater in a minute. The one that I finished this month or last month. Yeah, let me go get that and I'll show that to you in a minute. And here is my adult version one that I made. Kids are starting to come back from outside. So that was that. I had to send the kids outside again. They like being inside more than outside, but I've been taking them to the parks a lot and letting them play outside more. It's better for them that way. So here's another project that I'm working on. This is a made-up pattern by myself. I just kind of drew a picture of what I wanted the sweater to look like. I knew which stitch I wanted to make, and then just made it up as I went. So, oh my goodness, this yarn is beautiful too. So this will be like a Christmas cardigan for one of my girls. So just show you a little bit of detailing right there that I did, the little cable details. So this is a garter stitch cardigan, 375. Okay, so I'm going to use US 5 size needle. That's what it is, US 5 size needle. And I made the little skirt longer in the back with short rows and a little shorter on the front. And then I did the I-cord little button loops with I-cord. So I can't wait to get this one finished. It's a lovely yarn. It has some sparkly stuff in it, so I'll tell you in a second what it is. But yep, just got to do the sleeves. This didn't take very long at all. It did not take very long working with the sock. Well, the socks take a lot longer, so working with the US 5 size needles, I started last week, so it'll be about 2 weeks. Yeah, almost 2 weeks. Time flies by, so sometimes I don't even know. So the yarn comes in 50-gram balls, and I also purchased it from the same website that closed down, that I bought the undyed Cloudborn yarn, and I bought this a couple years ago, and it's been sitting a while. So I went through my yarn and I organized the wool, the cotton, the acrylic, and I found this. I'm like, oh my goodness, I wanted to make stuff out of it. I'm so happy I went through and found it. So this is the little label. So it is llama, 90% llama and 10% polyamide, 10% polyamide, and it is 100 meters per 50 grams, and I have no idea, don't remember how much it cost. So yeah, it's Lilo maybe. I hope I'm saying it right? So that was it. This lovely project, which I can't wait to finish it. The weather's in here a perfect weather to wear a cardigan without a jacket. It gets colder in January, and even if that, I don't know, February is probably the coldest month, but it doesn't really get cold. So she'll get a lot of wear out of this in the fall and even in the winter, because she doesn't like wearing jackets and I don't like wearing jackets. So a simple, cozy, warm cardigan is just perfect for where we live here in Delaware. So that one hopefully will get done soon. And oh, where's my book? Oh, there's my book. Here's my book. I'm working on something. I think that's where the inspiration came from. The inspiration came from the one that I started for myself. Maybe in spring, probably. Yeah, I think so. I started this one in spring, thinking of fall, because I got it in fall colors. And I got it out again. I'm like, I'm gonna finish it. I'm gonna finish it so I can have it to wear this fall. So I decided to dig it out and finish it. So it's sort of the same kind of idea, the little flowy back. This is seed stitch, I believe that's what it's called. You knit one, you purl one, and then you purl one, you knit one on the opposite side. So it has a little longer back, and it's lovely. It's a lovely pattern. I'll share in a second, but I have almost finished with the body, and then I'll just have to do the sleeves, and then I just got to do one more side up here. And this is a lovely fall color too. So the yarn, I'll start with the yarn, and we'll start with the pattern, and then I'll end with the pattern. So the yarn is 220 Cascade Yarns 220 Superwash. It's 100% superwash wool, 100 grams, 220 yards per 100 grams. Am I saying that right? Yeah. And this one's from webs.com website, which they have a shop in Massachusetts. One day I wish to go there. So I found the picture of the pattern on Pinterest. I'm like, I absolutely fell in love with it, and I searched for a pattern, which you couldn't purchase a pattern online. They didn't have, there's patterns on there and projects on Ravelry, but they didn't have one to purchase there. So I had to buy a whole entire book for just this one. But this book has many wonderful patterns in there. So here's the picture. How lovely is that? That is beautiful. Love it. So this is the book. It's okay. So the book, designer name is Kim Hargreaves. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. English is my second language. So I will pronounce things wrong and I will say things wrong. So the name of the book is Scarlet. Beautiful patterns in here. So I bought the book for this pattern, but I'm like, there's so many patterns in this book. I want to make them all. I love this. I absolutely love this. This is gorgeous. So pretty. I definitely want to make it one day. Absolutely. Oh, all these patterns are just gorgeous. Beautiful. There's so many. I know it's an older book, I think. I don't know. Probably. Yeah, it looks like an older book, but there's, I mean, these patterns are just beautiful. I couldn't hardly see. Beautiful. It's one of my favorites. Oh, look at this chunky cardigan. Absolutely perfect. Perfect. I am going to be making this one day once I get a little bit of time. Now, my other favorite one. Let me find another super pretty. Oh my goodness, look how beautiful this is. And this girl right here, the model, gorgeous, gorgeous. So let me find another one that is really pretty that I missed. I mean, all of them are beautiful, and I actually wish I would have time to make them all. I would start from the beginning, but I think because, well, once I bought this book, I'm like, I love every single pattern. Which one do I start with? So I started with that one because I bought the book for that pattern. So I had to start it with that pattern. So yeah, I'm like, okay, once I'm finished with it, I'm gonna go make this one. This is gonna be my second one that I make from this book. Isn't that beautiful? It's sort of, I can't say it's simple because it has these beautiful cables, but just looks so classy. It's my style, definitely. I love classy. It's so pretty. I love classy and I love comfy. So this is beautiful. So I'm going to share one more project with you, which I don't have a book, but for next time I'll definitely have a book. I'm going to share it, that way I can make some progress on it, and then maybe have a finished project next time, a finished one, and find the book and share with you. So this is also superwash merino wool. So this is another book I bought, a pattern book by a different designer, which also found so many beautiful patterns in there. But this is a little, it's gonna be a 3/4 sleeve shirt, blouse, sweater, I don't know, but it has this beautiful lace on the bottom, so pretty, with a rib. And I did dye this yarn myself, so I don't know how I like it on the sweater, because you could see, I don't know, kind of, I guess it looks fun. It'll look fine when I style it with something look pretty, with some solid skirt or pants or something. So I have finished the body, and this was my first sleeve that I started working on, which I really need to get back to it and finish it so I can start wearing it finally. But this is the sleeve I'm working on. So this will be a 3/4 sleeve. The same lace pattern. And I am making this on 2.5 millimeter needles. So yeah, it takes a lot. So the body was quick, was fast, because I was so excited. I wanted to get it going, I wanted to get it started, and I wanted to finish it and being able to wear it, which I'll be able to wear it in the fall. Well, now it's fall. I'll be able to wear it as soon as I'm finished, because this weather is just really nice, and not even have to wear a jacket on top of it. Yeah, so this is my last one. So that's it for today. I'm gonna try to work on some of these things and not start a new project until I am done with at least 2 or 3. I'm trying to set a limit for how many projects I have on the go, because I want to get them done. I want to be able to use, which I finished some things this week. I finished a couple different things, so I'm gonna try to finish the ones that are closer to being done, which I have all 3 of them. But then the socks, I'm only working on the first one, so I'm trying to finish some cardigans. And I guess I'll work on a blanket because it's so relaxing and I really like doing that. So that's going to be one I'm working on. So, oh, and one more thing I want to share with you. Something I just discovered recently. The best thing ever. I hope I have my little, yes, I do. So, the Knitting Barber. I don't know if any of you heard about this yet, but it's TKB cords, and I've been wanting to buy some, and I finally found it where I could buy it. So, because I make cardigans, I love, okay, my favorite way to knit cardigans and sweaters is from top down. It feels like I get it done quicker, faster, and I enjoy it better that way. And I do like making other ones too, the other way, from down to top and then putting the sleeves on, but this is my favorite way to make them. So I kind of got tired of looking for a needle and always putting a yarn into the things. I don't know. We like everything so simple, so easy, and so quick. And I think about that sometimes, but I'm like, oh, why am I like that? Like, it's not going to take that much time. But I wanted to purchase these. I wanted to purchase these cords that go, so you grab your needle, you put the cord on there like that, and you pull the needle out to hold the stitches for your sleeves. How amazing is that? They came out with that. It's so exciting. So there it is. That's all for today. And I'm gonna say goodbye. See you later. Bye-bye. Have fun. Have a great day.